Now officially ready here between Trademark Esports and QsQ357. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a note that we are ready, good to go. We are good. Good luck, have fun, guys.
Yeah, and it's great. We don't have to worry about like, oh no, well we're casting this match over this match, but we'll keep you updated. No, like you said, we're casting every single match for the rest of this tournament. So yeah, stay tuned with us, guys. So we'll be giving you all that.
You're so
coverage.
true. You know, again, obviously as a caster, it's kind of cool. You know, in a sense, being able to cast these high-tier matches, see some great play constantly, but there's always those cases, especially in these tournaments, where you're like, which matchup should we cover? You know, this sucks that we have to choose. Which one do we want to cast? Unfortunately, it's just obviously a problem you have to deal with. But with this tournament, it was scheduled out the way where every single matchup is on a different day, if not at least a different time. So, again, plenty of content coming at you guys, and hopefully you are ready here for it. The DreamHoN Redemption Tournament is continuing today. So let's look at what we're dealing with. Again, this is game number 1 here between Trademark Esports and QsQ357. Of course, QsQ on the Legion side, Trademark on the Hellborn side, and this locking stage is just flying through. So real quickly, the blind bands, we got Wild Soul and Tempest from QsQ, and then Tundra and Pebbles taken care of from Trademark Esports over here.
Yeah, boy, the locks were just like, who can lock quicker? Honestly, it was like do-do-do-do-do-do. So, yeah, quickly with the locks, we got, well, the blind band was pretty obvious there. Tempest and Wild Soul, those have been very, very popular as of late. Then, of course, Tundra Pebbles on the Hellborn side. Don't want to give those very, very strong first pick heroes on the first position of Legion. The locks are as it follows. We got, who is that, Pharaoh, Ophelia, Keeper of the Forest, Parasite, Luna, and Glacius. So very, very strong, very, very safe lock, I think. Pharaoh is kind of the only little standout thing, but we've seen him picked up quite recently. And then as far as the bands go, Silhouette, Fade, Miraxis, Jereziah, and Nymphoria Draconis. So there are a couple of hard carries in that pool. There is a Mage Bane, there is a Dark Lady, and wow, I've never seen picking and banning this fast. It's almost like they're not even thinking about it.
It's almost as if they remade this game and they're just doing it again. I don't believe that was the case though. So
I almost wonder if there's even any thinking going on.
Yeah.
Like if there's any kind of thinking behind all of these, or they're just kind of like picking random stuff and then kind of drafting the lineup as they go. I'm not sure. Anyway, Polywog first pick. Regardless of how fast these bans and locks have come out, Polywog is a very, very sound first pick still. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens from tdM's side.
Yeah, of course. Just quickly to go over the rosters here. Personally, I don't think we do enough here on Honcast, so we'll start maybe making a little more habit of it. But going over the rosters real quickly for QsQ, we have SQY, Style, Nox, Malay, and Jonasum Fan. So that's the lineup over there. And again, QsQ, they've been looking very good recently, actually, when it comes to their play. So really intrigued to see what they bring to the table today. Going up against Trademark Esports, we're looking at My Nuts, Insania, Limp, Mzai, and Noob G. So, of course, a big thing to mention there. Zai and Insania, new players joining the table. And, you know, as we've talked about before, and very legitimate point to make is, of course, you know, you got to wonder how the synergy was going to work with new players coming to the table despite being great players, of course. Obviously, they got to this point. They could definitely, you know, help prove that point even further today with some victories. But, again, the picks happening here, it really seems to be flying through. You talked about the Polywog first pick. Dark Lady Bubbles to follow up from tdM. Then he back to Plague Rider Mage Bane over there from QsQ. And then Demented Shaman to finish it off for Trademark Esports, Trev.
This is one of the few times, I'm not going to try to talk about the picks right now. I'm going to try to actually keep on time since they're going so fast. But this is one of those few times I actually think Keeper of the Forest would be better here.
Yeah.
Yes, you do. It would be very, very passive jungle. But Keeper synergizes so well with both Poly and Plague. And the thing about, if you're looking at an Ophelia, yes, it would be scary to give something like an Ophelia plus very, very strong support being Glacius or Luna to the tdM side. They'd have very, very strong lanes. You know, that suited tri-lane for a Dark Lady up top, Bubbles in the Suicide lane, and then like a solo Demented Shaman mid. But there's too many counters to Ophelia, honestly. Both Glacius and Parasite are strong against him. And again, as I said, Keeper of the Forest, this is one of those few times I actually think he would shine this game, for QsQ especially.
Yeah, so we'll see if that becomes an option to be picked up. Now, they are going to go with a Luna. And again, just the quick snap picks. Glacius and Ophelia to follow up for Trademark Esports. But now with that final pick, you got Pharaoh, Keeper, and Parasite. But sure enough, it is actually going to be Parasite as the final pick over here for QsQ357. So again, a very, very quick picking, banning, locking phase even here in this game. But just about getting ready to jump into game number 1. How do you think QsQ finished there, Trev?
I think it's fine. The only thing is they picked an aggressive jungler as Parasite, but it's kind of aggressive lane. I mean, a Luna can make any lane work, honestly. That hero is so good. I just really think Keeper the Forest would have been amazing here. I mean, we've seen so many times Keeper the Forest plus Plague, that massive amounts of armor, that massive AoE team fight. And then on top of that, if you're sitting behind Polywog Ward just pushing a tower while Magebane farms all by himself, I actually think that would work very, very well. Now, granted, I never like picking Keeper. I think it's very weak because it creates a passive jungle. It means you can't. It means other teams can man up on your long lane or on your short lane, I should say, very, very easily. But this is one of the few times I actually think Keeper would have been a little bit of a smarter pick than the Parasite. But we'll have to see. Again, I said before, Parasite is a hero that is very dependent on his jungle spawns. He really has to get good ones, I think, to be effective. Otherwise, he kind of has to just sit in the jungle until he hits level 6. Now, yes, he can take over a creep of Ophelia's, but the thing is that it's not the biggest count in the world. The Ophelia creep, a while ago, it got a buff where it has extra movement speed.
Yeah.
So you can actually just kite the Parasite if you want. Also, Glacius is a small counter to Parasite. Not the biggest because he can just kind of pop out of the creep. But nonetheless, it renders that creep somewhat useless.
I was going to say, I mean, as much as we talk about Glacius being great against an Ophelia, of course, you can definitely argue that it definitely has a similar effect, of course, against a Parasite when it comes down to it. But also the good point of being, it's maybe not as dramatic for a Parasite as he just simply hops out of it and continues to move on his own. So, and of course, with that life regeneration you get from it as well, especially if you have that W maxed out, very, very powerful to have. So we'll see how Mally does here, as he made the big point, though, big coming down to really the spawning of the creeps and what he really gets early on in this game. The lanes, though, for our Legion team, at least you would assume to be pretty damn obvious. On top of that, it is going to be a Magebane, a Luna bottom with the Parasite in the jungle. You got your Polywog Priest mid, and then, of course, Plague Rider, being played by Jonasafan, headed towards the top, currently headed towards top, actually, with boots purchased, and, of course, that Ward of Sight. So we'll see if he ends up selling those boots, or if he actually looks to keep those boots here, as we are going to come out of this pause now from SQI unpausing the game. So here we go, and Plague Rider's heading up top there, and it looks like he may be keeping the boots. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like he is going to be keeping the boots, actually. So what do you make of that? I mean, what do you make of Plague Rider deciding to keep the boots here?
I think it's fine. It's very, very obvious that Pseudo Trilane is going to be in the short lane. And Plague Rider is not going to be able to do anything up here except maybe deny and then try. And actually, they want to try to go for a remake. Maybe there is some lag issues. I know there are some issues with the servers for Scandinavian players. Right now, there's nothing that we can do about it. You just kind of have to try to find a server that works well, or go US East. Yeah. Honestly, honestly, European players, a US East server, you ping something like 150, 160 maybe. I've seen people even ping as low as 120. But
yeah, I wouldn't think it's the worst deal in the world by any means. I mean, and especially with both teams being European, it's not like one team is getting a bigger advantage over the other. So in the end, so that's why you saw him asking. I'm not exactly sure what they're ultimately going to choose. We'll wait and see until we get the invite, of course, to actually join the game and see what happens here. Did I get an invite? It looks like I did, yes. I wasn't denied access. So I'm going to join the game here and eventually, hopefully get this started. It looks like it is back on a European server, so we're going to give it another shot here and see if it works out better a second time. But again, Trademark Esports taking on QsQ357 here. What is game number 1 of the quarterfinals here for the DreamHoN Redemption Tournament. If you are kind of just tuning in, as we talked about, as we really stressed, we are going to be covering every single matchup here for the DreamHoN Redemption event. $10,000 prize pool on the line. Honestly, I mean, that's a lot of money, but really I think the most important thing is, of course, that trip to DreamHack Winter 2012, where the winning team, and if it happens to be Complexity, of course, then the runner-up, they'll get that invite along with Complexity so far. And that's I really want to stress on this, too. Obviously there's a lot of questions out there, and I know there really isn't a whole lot of information. I think that it's safe to say that's on purpose, but there's going to be more than just those two teams going to DreamHack Winter. It's not going to be a 1 versus 1 DreamHack Winter event. I can guarantee that. So there will be more teams. How those teams actually get there, we'll see. Let me just let them know we are ready. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go with the countdown here, though, and look to join the game as soon as possible for his ult pick. Yes, it was. So as long as they pick the correct heroes, we should
which
be
I've seen not happen before.
Yes, I've definitely seen that not happen before as well. So it looks like everything is good, though, and we should be good to go. So
now here's the thing. Based off of what I saw the lanes kind of shaping up to be last game, is it's going to be a safe tri lane for Magebane and then a safe tri lane for Dark Lady. Now, I will say Parasite does get levels very, very fast. If Parasite has in his mind that he's going to do nothing but get levels, he can do that quite effectively and get a very, very fast level 6. but I think he's better utilized in a more aggressive fashion. So I would have actually rather seen, it sounds weird, but a Mage Bane, a Luna, Parasite, aggressive tri-lane against the
Mage Bane against
Lady.
Dark Lady in the lane.
And actually, SQY has timed out there, so we have another pause yet again.
We will start this eventually. I don't want to guarantee that. That would be kind of dangerous. But there's a 99% chance that this will start eventually, and we'll be good to go, of course. As far as moving on, there he goes reconnecting. Just a quick reconnect, it looks like, on Insania's part. And then good to go. But as I kind of stressed there, as far as the roster situation as well, again, Insania and Zai being new players to this tdM roster.
Right.
Replacing, I believe it was Fine and Pablo McDad, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, very good players themselves, replaced by also very good players. But you do always have to question, when it comes to synergy and whatnot, how that may have an effect on the situation. But like I said, they did end up winning their group in what I believe was actually Group B, I want to say.
I'll double check.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, if you could pull it up real quickly. But they did end up finishing on top of their group, and again, got to this point. So it's kind of, it's safe to say at least so far it's working out, and things are going not too shabby for them, to say the least. Pulling up, yes, they did win their Group B. They finished 3-0, in fact, over 15 MUFC and Druids for the three other teams. So, yeah, there you go. Kind of some facts and proofs right there, really, that things are working out so far. But again, a tough challenge here, really, in QsQ. As both you and I seem to agree, this is probably the best matchup, honestly, of the quarterfinals. So,
yeah, again, I always just want to reiterate, whenever teams shuffle around their players, regardless of who it is, it doesn't matter. Just the fact that if you have not played very many games together, it's gonna create it's gonna make it feel way different.
Yeah.
And that could very well affect your play. It doesn't matter who you are, what team you're playing for. We even saw that way back with Fnatic when they were shuffling around between Trixie and Nova. And actually, in the meantime, though, Plague Rider getting gone on here, but those boots make him so very mobile, and he'll be just fine. And he actually pops a health potion. I feel like he could have just ran back to base, but okay. He wants to stay up there.
Plenty of time, especially with that. I mean, you figure with that extinguish might be bad choices. Go back to the tower even and extinguish. Yeah, that was kind of an interesting use of 100 gold right there from Jonas and Fan. But as you talk about, with those boots, and now he's going back to base anyways, which is pretty funny. So it was almost like a kind of in the moment, just simply reaction type thing. But I'm sure he may have even said to himself after, like, oops, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Oh well, it is 100 gold, but. Will that ultimately play the biggest role here?
Very well could, because especially when you're in the suicide, sometimes those last little hits that try to go onto you, and you pop that health potion in the middle of all of it, can save your life. So it does make a difference.
Yeah,
it makes actually quite a bit of a difference. But anyway, yeah, like I was saying about teams shuffling around. If you remember back with Fnatic, I believe it was when Hani first started playing with them, they actually looked very, very rusty.
Yeah.
They looked very just not at all like a great team. They took them quite some time to get back into fashion and form, and then they were dominating. Mm-hmm. So that could be the case with tdM, but yeah, I wanted to just point that out. I thought that the roster was pretty good last time. I really, really loved watching Fine, and I think it's going to take them a little bit of time to really get back up to speed. That being said, I have seen actually both of these teams scrim quite frequently in the last week. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's actually another good point to bring up. And just in general, of course, with the competitive HoN scene, it just seems like the activity, really, when it comes to scrimmaging, when it comes to just being on, has just been so active lately. For very good reason, of course. The DreamHoN Summer Championships wrapping up, going right into the DreamHoN Redemption Tournament, and who knows what the future holds. Let's just say I see a pretty bright future for the competitive HoN scene. So, but anyways, again, we got this event to look forward to, and again, a very big matchup here in this best of 3. So this is game number 1. Taking a look at how the lanes eventually set up, actually. From the beginning, Noob G here on Dark Lady, they decide to send the Glacius Dark Lady lane mid, actually, and they have Demented Shaman soloing the top side. Of course, Ophelia is in their own jungle. Then obviously Bubbles playing the Suicide lane down there in the bottom. What do you make of the start here from Trademark?
I don't like it. There's a reason why Complexity always goes short lane. And why is that?
Yeah.
Because you can't have assistance from anyone else in the lane. See how Luna's just going to walk right here, and they're going to have this dual range against this Dark Lady. Now, it might not make the biggest difference right now, but it's going to slow down Dark Lady's farm considerably. Just the fact that the denies are so easy to come out with, and actually there's another vote to pause. Damn. But, like, say, Dark Lady went top. Luna can't walk all the way from bottom to top. It's just not practical. It's not. That's not going to happen. So that's why putting a hard carry in a short lane like that in these circumstances, especially when you know you're up against a suicide, it's much smarter to do that. especially when Demented Shaman should actually have a very, very good time against Poliwag anyway in the mid lane.
Yeah.
So I don't agree with these lanes coming up from tdM. Yeah, so we'll have to see how it pans out. I think it's really going to come down to, as it usually always does, the junglers. How active of a role are they going to have in this game?
Yeah, and so far, obviously, really only coming to the 2-minute mark here, of course, so that rune going to be spawning here very shortly. But Ophelia so far kind of just doing his farm thing, and where the hell is Parasite? I always have trouble finding him. There he is. He has a Catman champion taken over, and he currently is farming himself. So you talked about, though, Demented Shaman can fare just fine against the Poliwag Priest in mid. Instead, he is top against his Plague Rider. And right now, I mean, Plague Rider is still level 1, actually. He is going to hit level 2 right here, no doubt, as, of course, the creep wave pushed all the way up to the tower, it looks like. But a 7-6 Demented Shaman against that 0-3 Plague Rider so far. So, yeah, limp here on Demented Shaman. He is having a very good start, even being at this top lane. And so, you know, that's, I guess, where some more perhaps good news comes in here for Trademark. But, yeah, definitely agree with you. Really, Ophelia, especially here for this Trademark team, going to be the big factor, of course, being played by My Nuts here. We'll see how he eventually does as this game progresses on. But, so, yeah, with Aluna adjusting, being played by SQY again, with Poliwag Priest here in the middle lane. Again, to see how maybe Noob G, who's been a fantastic carry, by the way. That's definitely a player that's really been making more of a name for himself lately on the competitive HoN scene. But, so, you know, keep an eye on that creep score and see how it progresses. I mean, right now 7-5, but again, very early on, and that adjustment really did just take place. So we'll see how eventually that advances on. By the way, real quickly, there is this interesting ward spot, at least I think, placed by Insania here, near the bottom rune, kind of in that Conqueror pit area. Obviously, no Conqueror attempts, but what do you make of that?
It's a ward that's actually become very, very common lately. It provides a lot. It's not usually that common this early on, but I think the idea of it is they want to be able to see the rune and possibly see any kind of ganks coming around behind the tower here in the trees, like right above, or right to the left of to the left of Kongor there, just very close by. And they want to see if Parasite is going to sneak in there. You can pretty much accomplish the same exact thing, placing the ward in any kind of other standard spot, but that he just wants to switch it up. Maybe he wants to place it a little bit further back so they don't have any sight of him placing it in the first place. I don't know. It's just kind of like it's not that big of a deal right now. It's a very, very good ward later on. It provides a lot of information later on. It provides you can actually see into Kongor if people are actually doing it. You can see the rune. You can see possible ganks. It's a very, very good ward.
It's definitely a lot of surface area, that's for sure. You know, probably one of the better ones in the game as far as getting that amount of area and vision you get with it. So, yeah, it definitely makes sense when you look at it that way. It looks like SQY has reconnected, and apparently tdM is ready. And so there we go with the unpause. And going to resume with the game. Hopefully, crossing the fingers, you know, knocking on wood, anything you have, that is a last pause, at least for this current game 1 here. But you look at the top tower pressure, as I said, we see Plague Rider hitting level 2. But Demented Shaman being played by Limp here, it seems like he is off to the better start. And, you know, as you've talked about especially, you love to see that solo Demented Shaman, kind of like a solo Witch Slayer, over that support role for the most part. So, you know, what kind of impact is Limp going to have in this game? Bottom lane, knocks on Mage Band, just jumping in and auto-attacking Bubbles, burning a bit of mana as well as putting some damage on him. So the early start that Aluna helped give Magebane seems like he's definitely making very good use of it. Meanwhile, at the top lane, the Plague Rider will get taken out. Minotaur coming in with Ophelia, gets the Bloodlust kill. You saw Demented Shaman even diving past the tower to set that up as well. So Plague Rider goes down for the Bloodlust kill here.
Yep, and actually they might even try to find some blood onto Aluna. Aluna, I don't know why you're standing over here. Aluna could be in a lot of trouble, take a lot of damage. There's a Glacius to follow with some more. There's 4 heroes in mid. That was just really, really poor positioning, unfortunately, by Aluna, being played by SQY. He knew exactly where they were and kind of just put himself in a very bad spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so good kills. I will say that, you know, Plague was sitting at 100 life out of 500, I think is his max, 511. If he had that health potion that he had earlier, he would have lived. He would have been at full HP.
Yes.
So, and actually, look at how much damage he's taking. He's going to die again. Plague Rider is going to die. One more auto attack. Always very, very fast, but I think he's still going to take to the dock damage. Doesn't matter that Entangle is still you know, constant dot damage.
That's where you could argue maybe getting trees are actually more beneficial against a hero like Demented Shaman in the lane. I mean, obviously with the trees, you wouldn't need to worry about that dot being on you. You could just eat a tree and it'd still regen you maybe just enough. But had the health potion, wasn't going to make any use right there because of that dot damage, and sure enough, sets up another kill. So Limp here, I mean, Demented Shaman, not a hero we get to see too often in a solo role. he is powerful at it when he does, and especially because of entanglement. I mean, that does so much damage, especially at the early levels, and if he levels it up as he's doing. Of course, he's right now 2-0-2. We'll see where he goes with level 5, whether it is in that entangle. It looks like it is. So a level 3 entangle, no, that means there will be that stun at the last portion of it. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, we do see Polywog Priest getting taken out as a big dive coming in from Dark Lady and Glacius, and Aluna could just sit there and look on. So a huge start here, very aggressive start coming out from Trademark Esports.
Yeah, this is just really unfortunate. When you're going to move your support that's supposed to keep this bubbles down completely into the mid lane, but you're getting killed over and over, that's just really, really bad. They need to, when they have two ranged heroes like this, both Poly and Luna, they should actually fare very, very well against the Dark Lady Glacius. Yes, Dark Lady Glacius is very scary. If they do get the jump on you, it can be deadly, as we just saw. But realistically, there's some harass coming out. But Luna was kind of in the back, not quite sure what Polywog is doing, so some miscommunication there. I feel like if they timed that really, really well and staggered their abilities, they could have gotten the kill. But they should actually have an edge. Dual range against the Glacius and another melee hero. They should fare well, and actually some more action might be happening top. Minus continues to roam him here. Actually, I missed some action though. Bottom, Male takes out Zai with assistance from Nox, being played by that Mage Bane. So Male on the parasite gets the kill, but here comes Ophelia with that Minotaur ready to stomp. But Plague Rider is very, very fast with those boots, so good get away from him.
Yeah, the boots early on. I mean, a solid choice for Plague Rider, no doubt, despite still having 2 deaths. No doubt saved him from another death even right there. So that's where it definitely came into play. But this tower is going to take a lot of pressure, man. You see Plague Rider coming up a little bit, maybe try a little bit of harassment. Might try to take out the Minotaur. Not going to happen, though. Demented Shaman to the front lines. And Tingle comes out. Is the Minotaur going to get close enough for the stun? It doesn't look like it is. Again, the boost just a little bit too fast, but so much damage onto Plague Rider. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Polywog Priest at the end. The final line attack. No, just enough regen there on the Polywog Priest, and he'll barely stay alive right now. The top tower will go to Dark Lady, charging all the way. Charging strikes are used, and Polywog Priest just gets split in half right there. So the pressure just seems to be non-stop coming out for Trademark Esports. Now, maybe the sign of life is really coming out from Nox here playing this Mage Man. I mean, he is, of course, having free farm here at this bottom lane, and obviously got the assist down here, farming 350 gold per minute. But, you know, how powerful is he going to be against the Dark Lady who's doing just a little bit better, and really the rest of the team even doing very well as well here for Trademark.
Yeah, and actually, TP comes out from Male on that Parasite. He wanted to maybe assist the Plague Rider, who's taking a lot of damage from this Diminished Shaman. But, yeah, the one thing I might want to say, or that I wanted to say, is maybe they switched up their lanes and threw their Dark Lady mid because they knew that a boots first Plague Rider was going to be suicide, and they're like, hey, Diminished Shaman, you want to have the easiest lane of your life? Here, go against this Plague who bought boots first. That being said, actually some action in the mid as yet again Style gets taken out. He's 0-3-0. This lane has been too much for him. He needs to do something else. He needs to turn into a support poly with Striders and nothing else, and maybe just roam around the map because he is getting nothing done here. In fact, he's just food for this Dark Lady. And you did say the saving grace for this lead inside is that Mage Bane, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Despite how well this mid lane is going for tdM, Dark Lady is farming considerably less than the Mage Bane. Mage Bane's about 360 GPM. Actually, Dark Lady is more. Well, she's higher, but that's simply because of the kills. Now the CS,
that's true.
When you compare the CS, is 33 to 44, but it doesn't matter. At this point, it doesn't matter because they're owning their lane.
Exactly.
But I really just think it's more of the fault of QsQ. I think they're just getting caught out of position, especially early on. Once you do it early on, it just snowballs from there.
Oh my god, look at Plague Rider again! Demented Shaman's damage is just way too much for Jonathan Fan to handle. He too is now 0-3-0, just like his Polywog Priest teammate. It is just getting ridiculous here at the top in the middle lane. Demented Shaman just seeing, you said it, I mean, just you want to have the time of your life, just go to that top lane, and Limp, no doubt, is having the time of his life right now. He's currently level 7. He is the top farm in the game, in a game that consists of both a Dark Lady and a Mage Bane. Both are getting very, very good farm, of course, but he's sitting at 415 gold per minute. He already has Steam Boots. He already has a Grave Locket. And he's just now pressuring the secondary tower. It's definitely not going to fall, but he's going to get a good amount of damage. He's going to be in a little bit of trouble, though. Luna going to come from behind with an Emerald Lightning stun. He does have the Unbreakable. He's going to apply it right there. He applied it maybe a little bit too early, though, so probably not going to have the biggest use. There's a final attack, so it does go off, but that kill in the end, the Mana Rift used by Mage Bane, and Nox guarantees the kill. Now, while that happens, Style once again goes out here in the middle lane, this time even Ophelia assisting, and they're going to now pressure this middle tower. So, and what was a little bit of sign of life, a little bit of hope even coming up for QsQ357. Trademark Esports, a quick quick response, and now may even get a tower out of it.
I mean, they took a lot of resources to do that, to get that kill. Actually, action happened on in the mid. Parasite goes in, but it's taking a lot of damage from both Ophelia and Glacius. There's the port from Polywog. Tries to do something, not able to. Can they get the deny? Yes, they do get the deny. Credit goes to SQY. They're trying to maybe do some counter pursuing right here. There's the Glacial Ice Imprisonment. Polywog might die again. Oh no, he is 0-5-0 this game. This is just not Styles' game
at all. Yeah, it's it's hard to sit here and say that he's just playing poorly. I mean, sure, you can maybe question the positioning a little bit, but you got to give credit at the same time to both Noob Gene and Sania. I mean, the Glacius Dark Lady, as you said, despite it being a melee range versus a double range, I mean, it still has a lot of kill potential, and we're just seeing that. And, if they get that first kill, and it just amplifies it that much more because of the farm, because of the slight level lead that starts to happen, and I think that's been the biggest case. So really, it's just like kind of being in an unfortunate situation. Like you said, he kind of needs to just switch now into more of that strider, more of a support role. Polywog Priest even roaming around, setting up kills, but he's still even level 5, no ward traps yet, and we're coming up to the 10-minute mark here. So, man, Mage Bane Nox, he's having the time of his life, really. 400 gold per minute, doing very, very well here for his team. He just finished a Sustainer, actually, already with Steam Boots finished so well on his way to what you'd guess to be a Rune Cleaver. But again, with both a Dark Lady basically equivalent right now, and then Dimension Shaman, who's still definitely up there, you got to wonder still, is that going to be enough? But I don't know. Maybe it can be. It depends on how this game progresses here, though, of course.
I love Dimension Shaman in a solo role. I've said it for so long.
Yeah.
It's so very strong, and especially when you get levels and farm on him. When they start to team fight, especially with Ophelia, having both of those heals available, and actually a team fight is a brewing here. Breaky, I'll let you take over.
Alona just gets bursted down there. The Glacial Templor, the nuke coming out from Ophelia, of course, with that Ophelia's Judgment, then it bubbles with the Shell Surf. Easy kills that up right there. Seemed like Parasite in the meantime taking a little bit of damage. Dark Blade's activated by Dark Lady, forced to turn around. Now Style gets a little bit of revenge, however, at the top end, kills him at the Shaman, but a Plague Rider did fall just prior to that, so it ends up being a 1-for-1. You see the port out at the bottom lane, and now a 4-man push is incoming from Trademark Esports, and they are going to easily take out this tower here. As you see, that is what now, the third tower kill? Yeah, that's the third tower kill. The middle one was denied, but still, 3 outer towers have now been destroyed in favor of Trademark Esports, and again, the pressure just going to continue. So, again, Mage Bane, solid farm himself, not doing bad at all, but overall, as a team, it's just so much better for the Hellborn side, and especially with them having a Dark Lady, who's if not saying equivalent, if not even better for a good amount of this game than Mage Bane. You got to think Q Squad is in and now a very, very difficult spot, and wow, Polywog Priest, by the way, he's level 8 now. It seems like he was just level 5 a minute ago, but he's level 8, so he got a good chunk of levels right there, especially from that kill. So maybe that's a sign of hope here for the Legion team. Who knows?
Yeah, it is. I mean, if you look at the experience deficit, it's actually only, it was 1337 right there.
Oh, yep, I saw it.
It was elite.
Yes, it was.
But they're at a huge gold disadvantage right now, 7K. But yeah, like you mentioned, the levels are actually quite even. So that's good for them. But, if they get a lot of gold from all these towers on all these heroes, actually some action in the mid as Polywog drops his wards but not able to do anything. There comes the assistance from Parasite. The last hit comes from Male. He does get the kill with assistance from Style. Magebane tries to blink in, gets a piece of the action but not able to connect there. So that's a sign of life right there. They do get a good kill on the Zai playing that bubble. So who actually has a considerable amount of farm considering he was in the suicide lane.
Yeah, that actually brings up a point now for Trademark Esports. Obviously, they started to pressure. They were attempting to start to push a little bit to this middle tower here, and they even got a little bit of damage onto it. But at the same time, you do want to kind of slow your roll a little bit. You don't want to start throwing. You don't need to be in a rush here. At least I wouldn't think. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, you have a Dark Lady who you definitely, again, with the farm that especially she's having, can by all means compete with the Mage Bane, and especially with the Demented Shaman, that solo role. He's got some decent levels, and of course, great farm himself. So really, you don't need to play kind of a rush style game. So you could appreciate the attempt there from tdM, but they lost bubbles there. They gave another kill to Nox actually on the Mage Bane, and increased his farm a little bit more. So maybe just more of a sit back now, playing a little bit more passive is probably for the better here for Trademark Esports, but we'll see what they do now.
Yeah, definitely. And once they do decide to group up, though, and they have all their core items, but they can do so much damage with all these heals. It makes them so sustainable in team fights. They're able to live for so long. The Unbreakable, which is still only level 1, but mainly it's just that level 4 healing wave on top of the heal from Ophelia. Do they have an Astrally picked up? No, they do not. Ophelia is probably going to get that. She does have enough gold to purchase that now.
But here comes the pressure in the top lane. So much damage, and just destroys that tower. There's the initiation from Bubbles. Gets a very, very good kelp field. Connects on 2. Aluna's going to be in a lot of trouble. She does break the stun. There's Polywog, the slowest activator from the entangle of Demented Shaman. Can the Catman get a stun? Yes, he can. It's not really a stun. More of a clap, but good job by Minus right there at the end.
Gee, well, no ports coming. I was wondering, are we going to see any ports? Plague-Rider, he does have a homecoming stone. Magebane did not, though. And I guess especially without Magebane, they just didn't feel confident that they could really make it happen. I believe Parasite just ported back to base, actually. So, really unfortunate. And they're going to push into the base here, even. Unbelievable. Nice top by Parasite. He takes over a Minotaur and even stuns with it to kind of stall things for a little bit. Plague-Rider does have an ultimate ready to go. Is he going to get a chance to use a nice tab there from Demented Shaman, being played by Limp, of course. He's going to be finding an offensive Stormcloud, maybe try to scare them away, but Magebane doesn't want to have any of that. In comes the face, in comes Magebane, Minotaur canceled, but he finally gets it out, but it's not enough for the kill. The Plague is going to start bouncing around. Down goes Demented Shaman, bounces over to the creep, and still back to the creeps over to the Ophelia minions, and gets a decent amount of farm out of it, but the only kill so far on that Demented Shaman, it looks like Ophelia will live, and so will the rest of them, even looking to turn it around, it looks like, with Trademark Esports. But in the end, Q Squad also going to fall back, and that will be that. So the base tower already being pressured 14 minutes into the game, but at least Q Squad was able to have a strong response there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's kind of funny. I've never seen a weird, stat like this with them being up so much gold, but then so little experience. I mean, the experience is quite even, actually, with the gold deficit. So many towers down from that Ophelia and the Demented Shaman combo. It's very, very easy to push. And so they're going to have a lot more items on all their heroes. I mean, just look at Bubbles. I think Bubbles actually even completed an Arcana, or if not, is very, very close. I think I saw the Steam staff purchase. So Bubbles is going to be looking for a Hellflower as his first item. Tablet of Command is purchased there by Demented Shaman, as well as the Steam Boots, the Mystic Vestments. Astrolabe is now up on Ophelia, as well as another 1,000 gold. Let's look at the gold per minute chart right there. I mean, it's just so much gold on that side. The only one who's really doing well on the leading side is Magebane. Actually, Parasite is faring quite well himself. But that's it. I mean, it's got to be the other way around, because your hard carries will eventually pick up that farm later on. You really need, in the early stages of the game, your supports to be a little bit more farmed.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Parasite 245. He, too, is working on his first Arcana, it looks like. In fact, they're going to catch Bubbles right here, and Zai will go down as a result. Of course, he was standing right on top of this ward side here, placed by SQY. So a good job from Parasite, using that face suck for the silence. Of course, a very deadly tool against a Bubbles who cannot take cover or shell surf away as a result of getting jumped, and they eventually got the kill. So that's, kind of slowing this game down. Well, I guess something really slowing down in the pushing presence, I guess, is definitely positive here for QsQ357, and just buying more and more time for Magebane to get farmed. So, and he is now up to 40 to 13 gold per minute. So, I mean, you said it, though, as you're just making the point there. Sure, Magebane's doing well, but you look at the whole team for the Hellborn side, and even Glacius is over 200 gold per minute. Now at the top lane, Jonathan Fan in a little bit of trouble, trying to do the little bit, doing around the freaking Rosie, but it's not going to be enough. Oh, wow. That had to be a split second from actually porting out right there. So that was a really close getaway from Plague-Rider.
I got to say, I'm sorry, but Jonas Fan, if you had leveled up your Cursed Shield over your Extinguish, I feel like you would have lived. Because that Cursed Shield would give you more armor. It would apply negative 20 attack speed to Dark Lady right there. And I really don't see a reason to level Extinguish up at least past level 2.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Unless in special circumstances when you really, really need it. But especially when it's against a team that's already pushing hard. You don't want to be denying creeps so much, especially in this mid game. So, yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. But very, very good kill by NoobG. And actually, Polywog might be in a lot of trouble. There's a Taint Soul to follow up. And so much damage coming out. He does use the ult as well. Male gets a counter kill on Insania and then takes over the Hell Cannon to prevent any more damage. Actually, some damage is being done. There's the Aluna stun. But lots of heals coming out. And Darkly just completely annihilates. There's a Taint Soul. The ultimate, the Plague Goo coming out from Plague-Rider there, but doesn't matter. Limp does get the kill onto Male. There's the push book from Demented Shaman. Very, very aggressive pushing right there. He's going to use that entangle, gets that heal bomb off, and there's yet another kill. Quad kill coming out for NoobG.
I know NoobG got the quad kill there, but that was MVP status from Limp on that Demented Shaman. Talk about perfect timing. He came in there. Really good timing. Apply the healing wave, which did so much damage to all the creeps around, as well as, of course, the heroes, and, of course, healed them up. That's what makes it such a great ability. He put that offensive Stormcloud out, and really defensive, too. It really worked both ways very well right there. And we just saw as soon as he joined the party, as soon as he joined that fight, it just went completely in the favor of Trademark Esports. So they do finish off the genocide. They get the tower kill here at the top lane already. And, oh, yeah, by the way, a quad kill for Dark Lady. Now her farm, 485 gold per minute. They're going to steal the Ancients here on the Legion side. And Dark Hoodie being played by Noob G once again. He's been having a fantastic time lately here for Trademark Esports. He now just purchased his Abyssal Skull after that Rune Cleaver pickup, so things got really dangerous all of a sudden here for Q Squad. It seemed like they were able to at least keep things calm enough to where they could start coming back, but after what just happened right there, it's a much bigger hole now that they're going to have to deal with here. Ooh, Bubbles, he does get away.
Literally a minute 30 ago, Dark Lady just got her Rune Cleaver delivered to her, and now she has a full completed Abyssal Skull. And actually a kill that I missed here, and Mali takes off Insania, so there's that Parasite. He still does a lot of damage to supports regardless. And one thing that we didn't mention is that Face Hug is quite good against Parasite, or not Parasite, but Demented Shaman in particular. Yeah. But Demented Shaman, so damn farmed. Look at Ophelia, by the way, pulling up 3,000 gold herself. Everyone on this team is so farmed and looking really good for them. Now they're at about 13k gold lead and about a 4,500 experience lead. This game is looking really good for tdM.
Yeah, I feel like we're like 30 minutes into the game right now.
I know.
With the items that have been picked up, with the towers that they killed, it feels like we're at least 30 minutes into the game here. But Trademark Esports, we're not even 20 minutes in yet. They already have the top lane completely cleared out, minus the racks. And again, the items that they have though all across the board is pretty ridiculous for this point in the game. As you talked about, that Dark Hoodie, you got a Demented Shaman who's just getting something what is going to be delivered right here. It is going to be his Arcana as well as a Shaman's Headdress finish. God. So Barry Idol perhaps in the works there. You mentioned Ophelia, 3,700 gold pulled up now and counting. We'll see what she eventually goes for. But definitely the inventory or the shop is really opening up here for as far as what she wants to purchase. So right now, this game is safely in control of Trademark Esports here, but I keep looking at that Mage Man, and whenever you're dealing with a Mage Man that's farming 410 gold per minute, only 20 minutes into the game, it's still got to think that maybe you're not 100% confident that you have this game locked up just yet, so because that could still prove to be very scary. You know, they have a decent teamfight team. It's not something that's crazy. They don't have like a Tempest, Magmus, Behemoth, or anything like that, but they have potential, and they have a chance for, you know, catching them and getting some picks, as we've seen, especially with that Parasite. But it is going to be difficult here for Q Squad.
Just picked up.
Oh, that's good. He's a good recovery here for Stahl after that 0-5 start. Since then, he's only had 2 deaths, but a couple of kills. So,
yeah, he's had 4 kills involved and 2 deaths, so that's pretty good. But yeah, if there is a way to kind of jump back in this game, is to get a pick off with that surprising portal key. I gotta say though, Aluna, no boots, 21 minutes in. This kind of selfless supporting, it just simply doesn't work anymore. Like. Yeah. I don't know if it did before, but it just doesn't work. You need your supports to have farm. Otherwise, they're just complete food. And right there's a Congo kill. Credit going out to Limp, but I'm pretty sure that Dark Lady is going to take that. Well, she did have a double damage as well, so that's why that Congo just... I didn't even see it. Just bam, gone.
It happened quickly, yeah.
So Congo sniped out. There's the token of life for Dark Lady. She's working on probably a Firebrand right there to turn into a Frostburn. But yeah, this kind of selfless supporting, particularly on Luna, it just doesn't work. She's going to be complete food. I'm pretty sure she'll die in like a Taint Soul and a Bubble Shell Surf plus a Song of the Sea. It's just going to be so hard for her to keep a proper positioning, especially without boots.
Yeah, I mean, as long as now what she is still beneficial for, she does have great creep clearing potential against an Ophelia and all those creep players. That can be somewhat useful, of course, with the power throw. Oh, look at Jonas fan though. He again is going to get caught out here. Pushed up a little bit too far, and the Hellborn team sneaks up onto him, and down goes Plague Rider. So apparently Limp is completely owning Jonas fan here in this game. By the way, Ophelia, with all that gold that she pulled up, nice tower kill in the meantime, coming out from H-Man, but she did go Staff with a Master here straight up. So, my nuts on Ophelia, Staff with a Master, of course, it is a very powerful effect. It goes from 120 seconds, I believe, to a 30-second cooldown, actually. Now, in the middle, and Dark Lady got picked off, actually. The War Trap goes down, but she comes back up with the token of life, of course. Now, Mage-Man jumping into the party with Parasite. In the meantime, there was a kill on a Polywalk Priest. Mage-Man getting locked down, and Mage-Man will fall right there before he can do anything else. Down goes Parasite. And you got to think this game is close to over. I totally didn't even realize Noob G was getting caught out right there. But in the end, I mean, with a token of life, of course, it just seems like it worked out for the better anyways of Trademark Esports. I don't think we're going to see a Cassid vote just yet coming out from Q Squad, but
I don't see why not. Look at the 1, 2, 3. Dark Lady just completely destroys SQY, is on a bloodbath. He's 10-0-6. Having the game of his life, but really the whole tdM squad just kind of ran over QsQ this game. Yeah. They really did. They played well. I loved their draft, by the way. I didn't really touch on that too much, but I loved their draft. The Plague Goo was not able to come out in time before Plague Raider died, and this is just kind of like playing with your food at this point. There comes Parasite, maybe trying to get a kill. Bubbles does. Oh, there's the Mana Rift coming out from Magebane there. Does a lot of damage. Parasite trying to pursue. Actually, Magebane wants blood. Oh no, the push book coming out on Advantage Shaman. He's still going to pursue him. He's like, well, we lost, but I want to get this kill on you before we concede. He's trying to find him. Oh, good juking, but not enough. Nox does get the kill, and they're going to concede. So a little small victory there.
At least he's happy about that. But yeah, there goes the vote to concede at least. Just a matter of time before it actually passes here in favor of Trademark Esports. And there we go. So tough loss indeed for Q Squad, but Trademark Esports, they get the first win. And as you said, I mean, really, there wasn't really a point in that game where you kind of felt for Q Squad as far as having a good chance. I mean, really from the beginning, it just seemed like it was going pretty poorly for them, unfortunately. You know, from the top lane, of course, Demented Shaman doing very well against Plaguerider, to the middle lane with a smart adjustment from the Legion team and sending a Luna to the middle right away, and he got the early start from Magebane, so that worked out well. But they weren't able to lock down Dark Hoodie any bit. In fact, Dark Hoodie fed off of that almost. He was able to get kills, and that, of course, started a snowball effect. So all around, just very, very good play coming out from tdM, it seemed like.
You got to look at the the things that seemed like so minor in the beginning, but actually did end up playing a role that game.
Yeah.
The use of the health potion from Plaguerider. He died because he would not be able to regen his life, and then. But at the same time, good job from Minos. You don't see that very often, but he was played very aggressive, coming behind that tower and diving him like that. So that was a good job by him. But, you know, at the same time, a fault by Plague for by wasting that health potion when we did actually just see him walk back to base anyway.
Yeah.
And then also a Luna getting called out right after to the same squad that just killed his friend in the Plaguerider.
Yeah.
Right there. And that death actually really made it easy for the mid lane success on the side of tdM. So little things like that really propel and snowball for a team. And so just well played by tdM. Again, I want to say that their draft, I loved it. I love the Demented Shaman, the solo role. It's so strong. And, yeah, overall MVP to Limp for just completely dominating.
Yeah, especially that fight where the quad kill happened for Dark Hoodie again. His timing was perfect right there. Came in really great time and obviously set up a eventual, what ended up being a overall victory for Trademark Esports. So looking very good there in game number 1, but of course best out of 3 here in the quarterfinals. We'll see if Q Squad has what it takes to force that third and final game, or if Trademark Esports wants to make it an easy sweep here and move on to the winners bracket semifinals. Stay tuned, guys. Game number 2 going to be coming up next. We'll be right back.